Hello and welcome to this strategic DCS guide, which will cover our JTAC mechanic. As we saw in our grid video, JTACs are an integral component for intelligence gathering to determine the zone status. JTACs also provide targeting information for detected units within their range. This detection does not currently require line of sight, but this may change in a future update. We have three types of JTACs. The level 1 JTAC costs tier 1 resource points and are undefended fast movers. Whilst quick to deploy and highly mobile, they have a limited range of 3 nautical miles and are only able to target the closest enemy unit. The level 2 JTAC costs tier 2 resource points and are slightly slower, but they have a 50 cal for protection with an increased detection range of 5 nautical miles. In addition to detecting the closest target, they also detect the highest priority unit in range. The level 3 static JTAC tower costs tier 3 resource points, and to offset its static nature has an extended range and is able to detect all targets within a 10 nautical mile range. JTAC towers also provide border crossing notifications when enemy units enter the zone in which the tower is deployed. Each unit type has a priority assigned. Roughly this follows the main battle tank is more higher priority than mobile SAMs, AAA, light tanks, scouts, SAM compositions, and JTACs. When selecting additional targets, it would pick an MBT at 3 miles over an IR SAM at 1 mile. To avoid a sea of map markers, once a target has been selected, all units within 1500 meters of the marked unit will be aggregated under the closest marker to that unit. This will not give absolute numbers, but you will see within 1500 meters MBT, a few MBTs, or many MBTs. The marker position is not absolute. The distance between the marker and the unit being marked is a random distance between 0 and the maximum fuzzy range. This maximum range is proportional to the JTAC detection range and is adjusted based on player ratio, with the maximum fuzz factor of 2000 meters for targets at maximum detection range. In a 4v4, a level 2 JTAC with a range of 5 nautical miles, a contact detected at 1 nautical mile will have a marker off by up to 400 meters. When we outnumber the enemy 4 to 2, this same contact at 1 nautical mile will have a fuzz factor of approximately 1200 meters. This will be reflected in the marker text, so you always know the area in which the unit resides. When no enemy players are online, you will encounter a fixed fuzz distance of 2000 meters. This is to avoid issues that were common in the past where one player controlled vehicle can take on many AI units in an area with a significant tactical advantage. When presented with an imprecise marker, you have the option of moving your JTAC closer to the enemy or waiting for the enemy to get closer to your JTAC in order to obtain a more precise mark. As the distance between the JTAC and the unit is reduced, the unit will eventually be further from the marker than the expected fuzz range. When this occurs, the marker will be removed and replaced with a more accurate marker and with an updated text showing the new fuzz distance. This is to avoid constant recreation of markers each JTAC update interval. You can force this by deleting the JTAC marker and waiting for the JTAC update interval, currently set to 5 minutes. JTACs have the ability to smoke targets for visual reference, with red units being marked by red smoke and blue units being marked by blue smoke. To mitigate circumstances where one player can just keep calling smoke and wiping out entire bases, we have opted to disable smoke when no enemy players are online. Smoke requests are rate limited per zone dependent on the player count and distribution to remove a significant advantage to attackers in a stacked scenario. The minimum duration between smoke requests is 5 minutes, which is the lifetime for smoke in DCS, and this prevents excessive smoke, which often has a negative impact on client FPS. Within a zone, we have a maximum of 2 actively smoked markers for the same reason. The markers chosen will be those that provide intel on units that are closest to the original requester of the smoke. The smoke will appear directly on the map marker, and you will receive a message top right notifying you of the closest units to you with the map marker ID along with a true bearing and range offset, allowing you to accurately determine where the unit is. You can request smoke one of 2 ways. Using the F10 menu will request smoke for targets in the zone in which you are currently located. The -smoke chat command will do the same. The chat command can also be used to smoke a different zone by appending the zone ID, such as -zone P5. When using smoke, the enemy units will report that they are being smoked to the enemy coalition, allowing the enemy to start moving units or refocusing their attention. Your coalition will also receive a message that smoke is active within the zone. Other players can then request smoke in the same zone and receive the dialogue to inform them of the units closer to them. As such, a single JTAC when attacking a base can provide multiple players with different units that represent the greatest risk to that individual from the same smoke, providing a significant advantage towards teamwork. Once the pop-up fades after 1 minute, you can request an update by calling smoke again. This will provide you with an updated bearing and range information for known targets, excluding any that you may have already neutralised, allowing you to track them as they are repositioned until the smoke subsides. To make the best use of your JTAC, embedding a JTAC with your assault forces will always provide you the best chance for success, along with the most accurate map markers that present the highest risk. Using JTAC effectively may make the difference between success and failure. I hope you found this video useful, and we look forward to seeing you on the server.